Okay, this is a single ball thoracic spine mobilization. You're going to need a lacrosse ball, and what we're going to do is increase the range of motion and loosen up any fascia or tissue that may be located right where the shoulder blade, the bony fascia right here, and then the soft tissue all the way down to increase range of motion through the head and through the thoracic spine. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start at the neck, back of the, right where the traps meet the neck, so down low, around the C7, C1, C7, below the 7. And you're going to start with it close to the center of where, just to the left of where the spine is, and over next to where the shoulder blade or the scapula is. And you're going to work your way down, start from there, and you're going to go about halfway down, work the ball halfway down the shoulder blade or the scapula to where that meaty part, you will work some tissue, some soft tissue in between, right behind the shoulder blade and so forth. But it's going to help reset and readjust some of the ribs and increase your range of motion over. So if you're having any kind of discomfort with an overhead press, this will help with overhead press, and then any kind of discomfort on the posterior side near the spine. So let's start with the high end. So I'm gonna place it right about here on my back, and then we're gonna just start working these range of motion. So just stick with me as we go through some of these. I'll demo it the best I can on this video. So the first thing that we're gonna do is I'm just gonna place the ball close to my neck and on that meaty part of that trap, all right? And from here, all we're gonna do is we're gonna take the hand and we're just gonna start working. Now this part is, at least on me, is not too sensitive, so I can add in a bridge to help increase the load or the tension on the lacrosse ball itself. And from there, I'm just gonna take my hand and I'm gonna move it from the opposite hip towards an overhead position above my head here. Now what we're trying to work here is keeping that bicep close to the ear as possible, and then thumb side down as you go over the head. And then you're going to swing it back down towards the opposite side. Go as fast or as slow as you want. And again, if the tissue isn't bothering you all that much, then you can go ahead and navigate just a little bit lower, but just take it one notch at a time as you start to navigate through your ranges of motion. Again, naturally you're going to want to push your hand away and be out in the more of a Y format with your overhead, but we want to get that hand to that bicep as close to the ear as possible as you're reaching up over the head. And then as you come through, you're going to take the thumb down and hit the opposite side of the hip. As I start to walk this lacrosse ball a little bit lower, you'll notice that there's some bony tissue. It's okay to get closer around it. Just don't get right on the spine. That's not where we want to be. We want to be just left of it on this side. And you might find that bridging up is too much discomfort for you, but we're going to still increase that same movement. Now, it is okay to start moving some other directions and explore that shoulder blade scapula area, but what I really want you to focus in on is more of the bicep straight over the head, because that's where we get a lot more of the focus on that tissue as you keep that bicep close to the ear. And so we're just going to keep on rotating through. And again, this is going to be about 3 minutes on each side to increase mobility for your overhead press and get any kind of tension that might be associated in that thoracic spine area. So I'm just going to navigate this ball just a little bit lower, and from here it starts to be a little bit more discomforting for me. So I'm not going to bridge up as much. I'm just going to keep it somewhat low and just apply the pressure that you need or that you see that fits. Again, keep that arm as close to the ear as possible, and it's okay to have a little bit of assistance with that other hand, and so forth. Now, if bridging up is not enough for you, you can always add a plate or some sort of weight on your chest to increase, or you can have a partner come and just help press a little bit more pressure into that lacrosse ball. And I'm just gonna keep on navigating as I continue my range of motion. Now, as I get into this meaty part, or the more towards the lower portion of that mid-scapular or shoulder blade area, I do notice that my hand wants to fly away. So I'm gonna keep my hips down on this one. And I'm just gonna allow my body to continue to go through this range of motion. And if you find some tissue that really needs some more focus, feel free to just slow it down and move through that range and expose areas that need a little bit more work on them. So again, we're just gonna keep this going for about 3 minutes. We're about halfway through on this side. Your breath is really important. I want about a 4-second inhale and a 4-second exhale. Once I get comfortable, I'm going to try and apply just a little bit more pressure, right, bridging up some, and then continue my range of motion. Move it down just a little bit more. I'm about at the bottom of this portion for this side. I'm gonna move around, just kind of explore different options here. But again, the best one is close to the ear. We're just gonna navigate, make sure I don't explore, or I don't find any other tissue that might need some assistance. And then we'll bring it back in. And again, just because I'm only gonna do 3 minutes, if you find that this is an area of your body that needs a lot of work, then spend a little bit longer navigating through that specific area. Good. All right, let's hit the other side. So again, we're going to start at the top, and I'm going to place the ball right at the base of the neck where my traps start, and then I'm going to navigate down towards the inside scapula, bony area of my scapula. So get here so where you guys can see me. All right. All right. So I'll start the ball right there at the meaty part, right at the end of my neck here. And we're gonna start right there. I'm gonna bridge up on this one because I can withstand a good amount of pressure on this side. Or in this area. Again, I'm working towards the opposite hip. And then we just raise right on up. Opposite hip, raise right on up. And again, I was getting a little lazy there, drifting away from my ear. Bring through and back down. I'm just gonna roll it just a little bit lower. Again, I'm starting to feel just a little bit of my bony scapula or shoulder blade. Don't drift away from that ear. I'm just gonna play with some areas, make sure everything feels pretty good. Bring it back close to my ear. Move this ball just a little bit lower. Now we're getting this a little bit more sensitive spot for me. I'm gonna bridge up slightly and bring it straight over the head. The lower I get, the more I start to notice that my arm wants to drift away from my ear. So it's okay to use your opposite hand to just kind of navigate that arm close to the body. Bicep close to ear. Good, I'm gonna push that ball just a little bit lower. Again, we're gonna bridge just slightly on this one. I don't need a lot of pressure on this one, but you may be different, so please explore it and navigate it the way that you need to navigate your own fascia, your own tissue, and just continue to work that pattern. Again, we're gonna go 3 minutes on this side as well. Lower it to the lowest part, right there in the center. This is the most sensitive spot for me, so I'm just going to keep my hips on the ground for this one, and I'm just reaching straight over the head. Again, if this isn't enough load for you, bridge up or get a partner to press through, or put an object, a weight of some sort, close onto your chest, and help apply some more pressure. I'm pretty good with just my own body weight. Good. All right, so that should help open up from the thoracic spine area, and once you're done with that, that should increase your range of motion. You should feel a lot more mobility to the posterior, and be able to keep everything in line.